Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Goon Hole. And tonight we are doing a Candrome call-out live stream. So right now we have the Candrome page up here. We're going to put also up candrome.com. Oh, damn it. Whatever. Candrome.com. Just the easiest way to go about it. Oh, fuck it. Screw that. Whatever. Okay, we are getting started here. But today is a special stream because we're also going to have a Skype call, which many of us are going to show our faces in hopes of calling out our good friend Candrome. This son of a bitch right here. So pardon me as I just get everything properly set. Also slightly distracted as the last match of the night is up with WWE Battleground right now as well. We're also going to put up, I'm just trying to get everything coordinated here real quick. Here, and there we go. Beautiful. Well, we've got lots of people jumping in here. PAX is September 2nd to the 5th, that is correct. So there more likely is going to be Candrome action that weekend, but who knows, maybe we'll be able to get a taste out of him tonight. It would be kind of interesting. Hey there, hold up. Just trying to get everything set up here. Okay, create a new conversation. So we're going to rename that to the Candrome live show. I'm going to start throwing some invites out there. Paste it there. Send some links out like so. See who jumps into the room. We're gonna put that there too for other people who want to jump in. This is gonna be a one-time use channel likely for the Candrome show, just to let people know. So there's a very good chance after this that the room will be thrown away and it will just be tossed essentially. Starting to get some people joining us. Very nice. Good to have people here. Good to see you all here. Thank you again for joining us. Things didn't exactly set up 100% like I had hoped for. Originally what I was planning on doing is, well, everyone's calling this the mask show. But originally the thing was I was going to build up for the next day or so that this was going to be a face reveal for me. And then appear on camera wearing a mask. Apparently that got out and more people decided we'll wear masks for this. So we're going to just see how this works. see what we can get going on this. Let's try this out. We still got Candrome up on... Hang on a second here. Up there. I'm going to do something fun here real quick. No point in not having some fun here. Why not? Why not? Yeah. Got 22 people in the room already. Great to have you all here, and we got more people joining into the Skype as it seems too. Got 10 people in there already. That's nice. That's very nice. So, who's ready to see my face? My lovely, lovely face. Here we go. I'm just trying to get this fixed here. This is, hang on a second here. Just a second here. I'm just going to fix this a little bit so I'm getting a little bit better there. I'm the one at the bottom there in the black and green lucha mask there. And tonight we are calling out Candrome. See what reaction we can get from the man. Good to see you all here. Thank you for joining me tonight. Hang on a second. I'm just trying to let people know. Oh, really? Did you? No. No, we can't. I'm just gonna say right off the bat. Same, yeah, I am too. You're not alone there. I'd be happy with either Seth or Dean. Yep. It's wrestling jargon. Oh. We're gonna let everyone who wants in here now. Well, he's held the title for a month. He's done a good job with it. He's been a very, very interesting fighting champ. So it's been good. It's been good to see. And it looks like Dean is just losing his shit right now. So I'm just gonna. Well, yeah, but he was against Brock Lesnar, so what were you going to expect? I mean, the previous WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar took out The Undertaker, so, you know. It was a pretty weak match, I'm not gonna lie, yeah. But I think we can at least agree, however, that Brock Lesnar is much more charismatic than Dan Severn. I mean, I like the guy, but you know, Brock has done much more for the company and with the company since its inception here. Well, on the mic, but charisma-wise, I seriously think Brock Lesnar will be remembered and appreciated much longer than Dan Severn. To be honest, I think that what's his name? Steve Blackman deserves much more credit for what he did with the company. He was at least hilarious, you know. He was... Oh, there, I can make that a little bit bigger. That's kind of nice. Good to have you all here. Thank you for joining me with this. Originally, this was just going to be a Candrome call-out stream. It kind of started as a bit of a gag that I was going to do with DR, you know, with the masks and everything. But it seems more people got into this and wanted to see more, so hey. It happens. There's so much going on here. I'm trying to share this and get this out to as many people as possible. I'm just gonna... Shadow, chill, man. You know, some people are joining in. They're free to. So not really sure.
Shadow, hey. What are you doing?
There is a delay on the stream, so sorry guys. If anything comes up, we will cover as soon as it comes up on our end. So there will be a delay when you guys hear it, unfortunately. Yeah, that makes sense. Still nothing from Candrome. Oh, I've done so. I've already sent in a couple of messages to him. I've even sent him the Skype link here just for fun. Who knows? Yep. So just a few of the people here for anyone who is not familiar with the individuals in the group here right now. We've got Punished Greth up there, who is of course MF Greth, one of the big names, of course, from or one of the longtime players of Ben Drowned. We have DR, of course, right next to him. He is the gentleman that apparently Candrome has selected to be his sort of assistant when it comes to us. Oh, really? Is it? How the hell is that happening? Oh, shit. Give me a second. Oh, Dean Ambrose won. Dean Ambrose... Which means that the big gold belt will go to Raw, don't worry. Okay, so they... Oh, that's absolutely what they're going to do, yes. They can't have a show with no belt. Okay, so they can hear me, but they can't hear you guys. That's a shame. Jeez. Okay. That's true. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Sorry. Like I was just saying a moment ago, for all the people that who are watching right now, you have myself in the bottom there with wearing the black and green mask. You have Block Builder and Dak Cobb. They are two individuals who are constantly on uh, the IRG channel. They are they've been contributors for quite some time there. Punished Greth, just above them in the middle with the orange background. He is known as MF Greth in the Candrome, or sorry, not the Candrome, in the Ben Drowned community. Next to him in the black balaclava and the Harlequin style gold and white mask, you have DR, the one that was selected by our good Sir Candrome to be an assistant of sorts. And then on the other end, the lovely BGK Renee, aka Kai, the lovely lady, of course, who cracked tons of codes when it came to the Holofernes ARG that was going on, and who had a great deal of trouble befall her. But it's great to have her still with us as an amazing contributor to the group. So yeah, we're here right now, and we are calling out our good man, of course, Candrome. Maybe he'll notice us tonight. We'll see something. Maybe he'll show up, maybe we'll see something, who knows. But we're getting nothing so far tonight. I'm suspecting that we're likely going to see something in the beginning of September when we have the next big convention. Of course, I believe it's PAX for that one there. That's probably when we're going to see some activity. But right now, all we can do is wait and try to provoke him at least a little bit and let him know that we've got eyes on him. The gentleman with the bandana there is, yes, he's another contributor. There's a number of people here who are contributors on the IRG channel. I'm sorry if I don't mention everyone throughout the night here. Of course, if I miss anyone, people are gonna be popping in and out. But everyone here is a contributor of some sort within the channel, so it's always nice. Jack Hunter, another one there. Yes. Who? That's not what we're focused on here tonight. We're focused on Candrome, trying to calm out and see what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, that reminds me. God, it's like there's you guys just chill. It's all good here. So, just trying to get everything. Whoa, okay, did that apparently. That's good. So we are getting nothing so far from Candrome. We got no activity. We got no nothing. Shadow, chill. I wish we could just get something out of him. Let's all right. Just gonna do a couple things here real quick. Put that over there, so keep track of things a little bit easier. Unfortunately, we are not getting a thingy dingy here. Yeah, I got this mask as a gift from my folks when they went to Mexico last year. It's pretty nice. Fun little thing to have here. It's a little snug in the neck, but that's about it, you know, or right under the chin in particular. little snug. It doesn't have like the strap that, you know, a lot of guys do to undo it real quick kind of thing. So it is a little tight. Yes, absolutely. I got him tied up here still and everything. Oh, it's a nice one there. Nice, nice. Mm-hmm. I think my head's just too big for the damn thing as well. All it is. Right. We got another person here. We got undecided. We got more people jumping in. Always good just to see. Hopefully Candrome will see that we've got eyes on him and he'll have something to say tonight. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of game jackers trying to do that kind of crap. Yeah, I'm quite certain that the guy that you're talking about there, Deck Cop, was what the hell was his name? The annoying one. The dickbag that I got into the argument repeatedly with. Yeah. Three edgy five me. I can't remember his full name. Whatever. He was annoying. Whatever. Pay him no heed. Pay him no heed. Just trust me. All he wants is attention. Just ignore him. Not worth it. Not worth it. No. Yeah, there is a delay between the recording and the, or sorry, what's going on the screen here and the stream. I love Goon. Scott doesn't look like Scott. Well, yeah, because I'm wearing a goddamn luchador mask and I'm the welterweight champion of the world. That's why I don't look like me right now. Oh, yeah. Bonesaw is ready. That's the best way to do it. That really is. So unfortunately, folks, we are 20 minutes in and we are getting nothing from Candrome. So my only idea is to escalate the stream. Yeah, it's a very simple. It's a very simple. You know what? No, of course we're not going to start murdering each other. Don't be a goof. I'm gonna do something here. Consider this a gift to the stream and to all my lovely Goonies who have been following me for all this time. Here we go. Well, I figure everyone here deserves it because I've got 500 lovely followers, and everyone deserves to at least know what I look like. See what the goof who's been talking here for 2 months straight looks like. So you get. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying. Well, I feel like it's about time. Hang on here, folks. What's going on here? 1 second. That's sort of how I used to operate a lot as well there. So yeah. Wow, something. I think my stream is derping out. my stream is derping out, I think, big time because I got Skype up. It only seems to really do this when I got Skype on these days. I don't know what the hell's up with that. One day. One day. So there we go. Candrome, if you're listening, there you go. You've got my face. You can fully see me now. Enjoy. Have some fun. Let 'em. They'll get in a moment. They'll get in a moment. Nah. Oh, I'm about to do it, I think, on the screen from what I can tell right now. So there's about a minute delay, you know. Yeah. Oh, we all do. We're all watching them. We got nothing though right now. So this stream is going to go until about 9 p.m. just to let guys know. Just so there's no well, it's not 9 p.m. where I am, so but it's going to be about an hour long here total. Yeah, the stream is lagging horribly bad here. This is not working because I think it's because we've got so many people doing video stuff here. That's definitely an issue. No, let's not do that because I'd like to have a nice video to put up. No. Here, hang on. Thinking of what to do here. I can hear you. The channel can't hear you, but I can hear you. Yeah, I think it's coming down to the fact that we got so many people on Skype here at once doing a video chat, and I'm trying to both transmit this to YouTube and keep an eye on the channel. It's a bit of an issue going on here, yeah. So this is actually, sorry, a really painful stream for a lot of people, it seems. Scott is the legendary Scott Cawthorn. I wish. That'd be a hell of a thing. Well, I'm thinking about what to do here. So give me a moment. I'm trying to find ways to fix this, but nothing is coming about it, unfortunately. On my end, at least, it's still just causing lag. So I'm thinking of leaving up the cam and doing some reading. If anyone would be interested in listening to that, because we did have a nice vote, if anyone recalls, and I do have my literature here to read for anyone who wants to hear it. Some stuff from H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stop the stream here, unfortunately. Or sorry, I'm going to stop the call. I'm going to leave my camera on, and maybe we can get something. I can do some reading here. That'll be good for the next 20 minutes or so. All right. Sound good, everyone? All right. Okay. Take care, folks. Thank you again for joining me tonight. It's been great to having you here. I'm sorry that it didn't work with the stream properly. I should have expected having this many people in the room while streaming. Wasn't a great idea. It's a mask party. Yeah, maybe. DR, I would like to thank in particular. He's the one who came up with the idea for this. So if anyone wants to, give someone some accolades, talk to that man there, because he's the one who set all this up. Really, he's the one who. All right. Next time, we'll figure this out, folks. We'll figure this out. Okay. So I'm gonna drop the call here for a moment. Just give me a moment here, and we are going to go into reading in just a moment. All right. Have a nice night, guys. We'll see you in just a moment. Shadow, what is up? Shadow. Shadow. Hey. Why is he all whimpery? Jesus. Okay, so what we're going to do here is... Wait 1 second here. Give me just a second here, folks. Gotta be an easy way to go with this. No British anthem this time, guys. No British anthem. It's Meatloaf. His beard is magical. Thank you so much for the love, everyone here. Okay, so unfortunately, because we're getting nothing from Candrome, what we're going to do is we're going to have ourselves a nice little reading. So I did put a vote up on Skype, or sorry, not Skype, on Twitter a few days ago, and what we did is I put up a bunch of books that I have and I thought would be worth reading. And people unanimously seem to vote for Call of Cthulhu and other weird stories. So we're gonna read some of these here. And I want to thank everyone in the room who is enjoying the vision of me there on the cam. Thank you for all the love, everyone. So we're gonna do some reading here. I'm just trying to find an appropriate one. Well, everyone wanted to hear Call of Cthulhu, so I guess I'm gonna be reading Call of Cthulhu, which isn't that long. It's, you know, maybe it's a little long. Give me a second here. I'm going to do that, actually. I'm going to restart the OBS and get it to work. Just, yeah. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the Goon Hole. We are continuing the stream here tonight with a reading of one of H.P. Lovecraft's works. Everyone voted, or well, not everyone, but a bunch of people voted on Twitter. If you don't follow me there, of course, my Twitter address is in the channel information below. It's at Scott the Reciter. And tonight we're going to be reading one of my personal favorites. It's called Cool Air. I was going to do Call of Cthulhu, but it's about 30 pages long, and unfortunately I don't want to be here all night, you know, keeping everyone. We'll save that for another night, I promise. We will read that one, maybe in 3 parts even, because I know it is a 3-parter. But yeah, this is a personal favorite of mine called Cool Air by H.P. Lovecraft. You ask me to explain why I am afraid of a draught of cool air, why I shiver more than others upon entering a cold room, and seem nauseated and repelled when the chill of evening creeps through the heat of a mild autumn day. There are those who say I respond to cold as others do to bad odor, and I am the last to deny the impression. What I will do is to relate the most horrible circumstance I have ever encountered, and leave it to you to judge whether or not this forms a suitable explanation for my peculiarity. It is a mistake to fancy that horror is associated inextricably with darkness, silence, and solitude. I found it in the glare of mid-afternoon, in the clangor of a metropolis, and in the teeming midst of a shabby and commonplace housing room with the prosaic landlady and 2 stalwart men by my side. In the spring of 1923, I had secured some dreary and unprofitable magazine work in the city of New York, and, being unable to pay a substantial amount of rent, began drifting from one cheap boarding establishment to another, in search of a room which might combine the qualities of decent cleanliness, endurable furnishings, and very reasonable price. It soon developed that I had only the choice between different evils. But after a time I came upon a house in West 14th Street which disgusted me much less than the others I had sampled. The place was a 4-storied mansion of brownstone, dating apparently from the late 40s, and fitted with woodwork and marble whose stained and sullied splendor argued a descent from high levels of tasteful opulence. In the rooms, large and lofty, and decorated with impossible paper and ridiculously ornate stucco cornices, there lingered a depressing mustiness and a hint of obscure cookery. But the floors were clean, the linens tolerably regular, and the hot water was not too often cold or turned off, so that I came to regard it as at least a bearable place to hibernate till one might really live again. The landlady, a slatternly, almost bearded Spanish woman named Herrero, did not annoy me with gossip or with criticism of the late burning electric light in my third-floor front hall room, and my fellow lodgers were quiet and uncommunicative, as one might desire, being mostly Spaniard, a little above the coarsest and crudest grade. Only the din of streetcars and thoroughfare below provided a serious annoyance. I had been there about 3 weeks, when the first odd incident occurred. One evening, at about 8, I heard a spattering on the floor, and became suddenly aware that I had been smelling the pungent odor of ammonia for some time. Looking about, I saw that the ceiling was wet and dripping. The soaking apparently proceeded from the corner of the side towards the street. Anxious to stop the matter at its source, I hastened to the basement to tell the landlady, and was assured by her that the trouble would be quickly set right. Docteur Munoz," she cried, as she rushed upstairs ahead of me. "He have spilled his chemicals. It is too sick for doctor himself. Sicker and sicker all the time, but he will not have any other help. He is very queer in his sickness. All day he take funny-smelling baths, and he cannot get or excite or warm. All his own housework he do. His little room are full of bottles and machines. And he do not work as docteur, but he was great once. My father in Barcelona have hear of him, and it's only just now he fiem an arm of the plumber that get hurt of sudden. He never go out, only on roof, and my boy Esteban, he bring him his food and laundry and medicines and chemicals. My God, the sal ammoniac that man uses to keep himself cool." Miss Herrero disappeared up the staircase up to the 4th floor, and I returned to my room. The ammonia ceased to drip, and as I cleaned up what had spilled and opened the window for fresh air, I heard the landlady's heavy footsteps above me. Dr. Munoz I had never heard of, save for certain sounds and of some gasoline-driven mechanism. Since his step was soft and gentle, I wondered for a moment what the strange affliction of this man might be, and whether his obstinate refusal of outside aid were not a result of a rather baseless eccentricity. There is, I reflected tritely, an infinite deal of pathos in the state of an eminent person who has come down in the world. I might never have known Dr. Munoz had it not been for the heart attack that suddenly seized me one forenoon, as I sat writing in my room. Physicians had told me the danger of those spells, and I knew there was no time to be lost. So remembering what the landlady had said about the invalid's help of the injured workman, I dragged myself upstairs and knocked feebly at the door above mine. My knock was answered in good English by a curious voice some distance to the right, asking my name and business, and these things being stated, there came an opening of the door next to the one I had sought. A rush of cool air greeted me, and though the day was one of the hottest in late June, I shivered as I crossed the threshold into the large apartment whose rich and tasteful decoration surprised me in this nest of squalor and seediness. A folding couch now filled its diurnal role as a sofa, and the mahogany furniture, sumptuous hangings, old paintings, and mellow bookshelves all bespoke a gentleman's study rather than a boarding-house bedroom. I now saw that the hall room above mine, the little room of bottles and machines which Miss Herrero had mentioned, was merely a laboratory of the doctor, and that his main living quarters lay in the spacious adjoining room whose convenient alcoves and large congested bathrooms permitted him to hide all dressers and obtrusive utilitarian devices. Dr. Munoz, most certainly, was a man of birth, cultivation, and discrimination. The figure before me was short, but exquisitely proportioned, and clad in somewhat formal dress of perfect cut and fit. A hybrid face of masterful, though not arrogant expression, was adorned by short, iron-gray full beard, an old-fashioned pince-nez shielded the full dark eyes, and surmounted an anticline nose, which gave a Moorish touch to the physiognomy, otherwise dominantly Celebrian. Thick, well-trimmed hair that argued the punctual calls of the barber was parted gracefully above a high forehead, and the whole picture was one of striking intelligence and superior blood and breeding. Nevertheless, I saw Dr. Munoz in that blast of cool air. I felt a repugnance which nothing in his aspect could justify. Only his lividly inclined complexion and coldness of touch could have afforded a physical basis for this feeling, and even those things should have been excusable considering the man's known invalidism. It might, too, have been the singular cold that alienated me, for such chilliness was abnormal on so hot a day, and the abnormal always excites aversion, distrust, and fear. But repugnance was soon forgotten in admiration, for the strange physician's extreme skill at once became manifest despite the icy coldness and shakiness of his bloodless-looking hands. He clearly understood my need at a glance, and ministered to them with a master's deftness, the while reassuring me in a finely modulated, though oddly hollow and timbreless voice, that he was the bitterest of sworn enemies to death, and had sunk his fortune and lost all his friends in a lifetime of bizarre experiments devoted to its bafflement and extirpation. Something of the benevolent fanatic seemed to reside in him, and he rambled on almost garrulously as he sounded my chest and mixed a suitable draught of drugs fetched from the smaller laboratory room. Evidently he found the society of a well-born man a rare novelty in this dingy environment, and was moved to unaccustomed speech as memories of better days surged over him. His voice, if queer, was at least soothing, and I could not even perceive that he breathed as the fluent sentences rolled urbanely out. He sought to distract my mind from my own seizure by speaking of his theories and experiments, and I remember his tactfully consoling me about my weak heart by insisting that will and consciousness are stronger than organic life itself, so that if a bodily frame be but originally healthy and carefully preserved, it may through scientific enhancement of these qualities retain a kind of nervous animation, despite the most serious of impairments, defects, or even absences in the battery of specific organs. He might have half-jestingly said Someday to teach me to live, or at least possess some kind of conscious existence, without any heart at all. For his part, he was afflicted with a complication of maladies requiring a very exact regimen, which included constant cold. Any marked rise in temperature, if prolonged, might affect him fatally, and the frigidity of his habitation, some 55 or 56 degrees Fahrenheit, was maintained by an absorption system of ammonia cooling, the gasoline engine whose pumps I had often heard from my room below. Relieved of my seizure in a marvelously short while, I left the shivery place, a disciple and devotee of this gifted recluse. After that I paid him frequent overcoated calls, listening while he told of secret researches and almost ghastly results, and trembling a bit when I examined the unconventional and astonishingly ancient volumes of his shelf. I was eventually, I might add, almost cured of my disease for all time by his skillful ministrations. It seemed that he did not scorn the incantations of the medievalists, since he believed these cryptic formulae to contain rare psychological stimuli which might conceivably have singular effects on the substance of the nervous system which organic pulsations had fled. I was touched by his account of the aged Dr. Torres of Valencia, who had shared his earlier experiments with him through the great illness of 18 years before, whence his present disorders proceeded. No sooner had the venerable practitioner saved his colleague than he himself succumbed to the grim enemy that he had fought. Perhaps the strain was too great for Dr. Munoz. Perhaps the strain had been too great, for Dr. Munoz had made it whisperingly clear, though not detailed, that the methods of healing had been almost extraordinary, involving scenes and processes not welcomed by elderly and conservative galens. As the weeks passed, I observed with regret that my new friend was indeed slowly, but unmistakably, losing ground physically, as Ms. Herrero had suggested. The livid aspect of his countenance was intensified. His voice became more hollow and indistinct. His muscular motions were less perfectly coordinated, and his mind and will displayed less resilience and initiative. Of this sad change he seemed to be by no means unaware, and little by little his expression and conversation both took on a gruesome irony, which restored me something of the subtle repulsion I had originally felt. He developed strange caprices, acquiring a fondness for exotic spices and Egyptian incense till his room smelled like the vault of a sepultured pharaoh in the Valley of the Kings. At the same time, his demands for cold air increased, and with my aid he amplified the ammonia piping in his room and modified the pumps and feeds of the refrigeration machine till he could keep the temperature as low as 34 or 40 degrees, and finally even 28. The bathroom and laboratory, of course, being less chilled in order that water might not freeze, and that the chemical process may not be impeded. The tenant adjoining him complained of the icy air from around the connecting door, and so I helped him fit heavy hangings to obviate the difficulty. A kind of growing horror of outre and morbid caste seemed to possess him. He talked of death incessantly, but laughed hollowly at such things as burials or funeral arrangements were gently suggested. All in all, he became a disconcerting and even gruesome companion. Yet in my gratitude for his healing, I could not well abandon him to the strangers around him, and I was careful to dust his room and attend to his needs each day. Muffled in a heavy ulster which I bought specifically for his purpose, I likewise did much of his shopping, and gasped in bafflement at some of the chemicals he ordered from the druggists and laboratory supply houses. An increasing and unexplained atmosphere of panic seemed to rise around his apartment. The whole house, as I have said, had a musty odor, but the smell in his room was worse. And in spite of all the spices and incense and pungent chemicals of the now incessant baths which he insisted on taking unaided, I perceived that it must have been connected with his ailment, and shuddered when I reflected on what the ailment might be. Miss Herrero crossed herself when she looked at him, and gave him up unreservedly to me, not even letting his son Esteban continue to run errands for him. When I suggested other physicians, the sufferer would fly into so much a rage as he seemed to dare and when I suggested other physicians, the sufferer would fly into as much a rage as he seemed to dare entertain. He evidently feared the physical effect of violent emotion, yet his will and driving force waxed rather than waned, and refused to be confined to his bed. The lassitude of his earlier ill days gave place to a return of his fiery purpose, so that he seemed about to hurl defiance at a death daemon, even as that ancient enemy seized him. The pretense of eating, always curiously like a formality with him, he virtually abandoned, and mental power alone appeared to keep him from total collapse. He acquired a habit of writing long documents of some sort, which he carefully sealed and filled with injunctions which I would transmit after his death to certain persons who he had named, for the most part lettered East Indians, but including a once celebrated French physician, now generally thought dead, and about whom the most inconceivable things had been whispered. As it happened, I burned all these papers undelivered and unopened. His aspect and voice became utterly frightful, and his presence almost unbearable. One September day, an unexpected glimpse of him induced an epileptic fit in a man who had come to repair his electric desk lamp, a fit for which he prescribed effectively while keeping himself well out of sight. That man, oddly enough, had been through the terrors of the Great War without having incurred any frights so thorough. Then in the middle of October, the horror of horror came with stupefying suddenness. One night at about 11, the pump of the refrigeration machine broke down, so that within 3 hours the process of ammonia cooling became impossible. Dr. Munoz summoned me by thumping on the floor, and I worked desperately to repair the injury while my host cursed in a tone whose lifeless, rattling hollowness surpassed description. My amateur efforts, however, proved of no use, and when I had brought in a mechanic from the neighboring all-night garage, we learned that nothing could be done till the morning, when a new piston would have to be acquired. The moribund hermit's rage and fear, swelling to grotesque proportions, seemed likely to shatter what remained of his failing physique, and once a spasm caused him to clap his hands to his eyes and rush into the bathroom. He groped his way out, with his face tightly bandaged, and I never saw his eyes again. The frigidity of the apartment was now sensibly diminishing, and at about 5 a.m. the doctor retired to the bathroom, commanding me to keep him supplied with all the ice that I could obtain at from all-night drug stores and cafeterias. As I would return from my sometimes discouraging trips and lay my spoils before the closed bathroom door, I could hear a restless splashing within, a thick voice croaking out for more. At length, a warm day broke, and the shops opened one by one. I asked Esteban either to help with the ice fetching while I obtained the pump piston, or to obtain the pump piston while I continued with the ice, but instructed by his mother, he absolutely refused. Finally, I hired a seedy-looking loafer whom I encountered on the corner of 8th Avenue to keep the patient supplied with ice from the little shop where I introduced him, and applied myself diligently to the task of finding a pump piston and engaging workmen competent enough to install it. The task seemed interminable, and I raged almost as violently as the hermit when I saw the hours slipping by in a breathless, foodless round of vain telephoning, and a hectic quest from place to place hither and thither by subway and surface car. About noon, I encountered a suitable supply house far downtown, and at approximately 1:30 p.m. Arrived at my boarding place with the necessary paraphernalia and two sturdy and intelligent mechanics. I had done all I could, and I hoped that I was in time. Black terror, however, had preceded me. The house was in utter turmoil, and the above was a chatter of odd voices, and I heard a man praying in a deep basso. Fiendish things were in the air, and lodgers told over the beads of their rosaries as they caught the odors from beneath the doctor's closed door. The lounger I had hired, it seems, had fled screaming and mad-eyed not long after his second delivery of ice, perhaps as a result of excessive curiosity. He could not, of course, have locked the door behind him, yet it was now fastened, presumably from inside. There was no sound within, save a nameless sort of slow, thick dripping. Briefly consulting with Miss Herrero and the workman, despite a fear that gnawed at my innermost soul, I advised the breaking down of the door, but the landlady found a way to turn the key from the outside with some wire device. We had previously opened the doors of all the other rooms in the hall, and flung all the windows open to the very top. Now, noses protected by handkerchiefs, we tremblingly invaded the accursed south room, which blazed with the warm sun of the early afternoon. A kind of dark, slimy trail led from the open bathroom door to the hall door, and thence to the desk, where a terrible little pool had accumulated. Something was scrawled in pencil in an awful blind hand on a piece of paper, smeared as though by the very claws that traced the hurried last words. Then the trail led to the couch and ended unutterably. What was or had been on the couch, I cannot and dare not say here. But this is what I shiveringly puzzled out on the stickily smeared paper before I drew a match and burnt it to a crisp. What I puzzled out in terror as the landlady and two mechanics rushed frantically from that hellish place to babble their incoherent stories at the nearest police station. The nauseous words seemed well nigh incredible in that yellow sunlight, with the clatter of cars and motor trucks ascending clamorously from the crowded 14th Street. Yet I confess that I believed them. Whether I believe them now, I honestly do not know. There are things about which it is better not to speculate, and all that I can say is that I hate the smell of ammonia, and grow faint at a draught of unusually cool air. The end, ran the noisome scrawl, is here. No more ice. The man looked and ran away. Warmer every minute, and the tissues can't last. I fancy you know what I said about the will and the nerves of the preserved body after the organs cease to work. It was a good theory, but couldn't keep up indefinitely. There was a gradual deterioration I had not foreseen. Dr. Torres knew, but the shock killed him. He couldn't stand what he had to do. He had to get me in a strange, dark place, when he minded my letter and nursed me back to health. And the organs would never work again. It had to be done my way. Artificial preservation. For you see, I had died that time 18 years ago. That's H.P. Lovecraft's Cool Air, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I've enjoyed having everyone here tonight. I want to thank everyone who has come out. It does appear, unfortunately, that we have not gotten anything from Candrome tonight. I do hope that you all enjoyed the story, and there will be more readings in the future as we continue to investigate various ARGs. I'll use what literature I have here to keep everyone entertained as best I can. I want to thank everyone who joined me for the cam portion of the evening. I want to thank everyone who's been here throughout the night. I want to thank everyone who enjoyed watching me demask, so to speak, and let you all see who I am. You all deserved it. You're all lovely people, really. So for tonight, I want to thank you all for joining me. I want you all to keep an eye on the Twitter, of course, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not part of it yet. My name is Scott. I'm Scott the Reciter. I'm the Goon. And I'm hoping you all have a very good night. Take care, and don't forget, Goonies never say die.